Hi there, and welcome back to Stubbs Aquatics. This is part two of my trip to Vandermeers. Part one, I showed you where I take my Shubunkins there. Been doing that for several years. It's like I said, it's a great feeling knowing that a quality place is taking your fish and selling them under their name. You know, they wouldn't sell crap, because it's their name, right? So it had to make me feel good. But let's get back to part two of this, which is about their process of selecting and breeding. Now, during this, Terry, the manager of the fisheries department, goes over what they've bred and some of the parentage. I wish I could have stayed longer. She's a wealth of knowledge. Uh, Also, a special thanks to Vince for his little commentary at the end. But I also wanted to say thanks again to Vince at Twisted Koi and also Rocket Boy at Koi Karma. See, they serenaded me today with the world's worst song. From Dead or Alive, You Spin Me Round. Guys, no longer 1985, and even if you did like The Hangover, I don't know what you're thinking. Bad song, even when it originally came out. Well, let's get back to what we're really here for, and another special hello to Ken at my koi obsession, who I was hoping to run into when I was at Vandermeers, but unfortunately it wasn't working that day. Anyways, thanks again to everyone and all the people at Vandermeers for being so kind, and to Alex, who I met for the first time. Stay tuned and hope you enjoy. If you've seen any of my videos, you've definitely seen my fish, and they all come from, you guessed it, Vandermeers, and they're all domestic. Let's get to Vandermeers. Like I said, one of my favorite places of all time. And this is just a recap of me taking my fish in. Happy days for me. Man, I truly love that spot, especially during the wintertime. Anyways, this is their koi facility where they have tons and tons of their domestic fry. They're just, well, they're stunning, and I've helped them cull there before. They also grow lots of water lilies, but this is their uh, what I would call a mud pond, even though they do add clay just to help with the coloring of the fish, and it certainly shows. Their skin and their color is just, well, it's phenomenal. And just look at all these little guys. Now they've invited me back to their pull at the end of September, which I hope to attend. You never know what beauties you'll find. Terry did take up a nice collection of their koi that she's currently culling. This will be their final cull of the year. Now let's get to what's really important. She's taken up a nice selection of koi. She's going to go through some of them with us, and she's going to tell us which one came from which parent and what she's looking for.
Okay. So what we bred this year was our Kikasui female with a Ginrin male Showa and two regular Wagoi Showa, and then a Doitsu Kohaku male butterfly and a Kikasui.
You think it's
So if you were going to classify it, the closest thing that this one would come to would be a Beni Kumonru. It's not a Beni Kumonru, at all. There's no class. I mean, it is Deutsch. So you can see the mirror scales along the side there. But because of, you get different classifications out of all different kinds of pairings, but it's not what we're breeding for. It's just a very, and we've got quite a few like this. It's just a very unusual pattern that came out of the mix of that Kikasui spawn. So with the Showa genetic in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like there's some like this one is just as nice.
Yeah, I mean that's
It's gonna be a nice show.
that's cool. So this would be Kinshoa,
Yeah.
right? Because it's metallic. So that's always cool because we don't get a lot of those when we order in our Japanese.
And with that one,
Which one? This thing?
Yeah.
So that would be like a sonke. So these are from the butterfly spawning.
Okay.
So you can see that's butterfly.
Yep.
Right? But this also is from the butterfly spawning. So we got some really nice sonke out of that because they were all, there was one Showa, which was a male, and all the female was a sonke. And then there was 2 more sonke males.
Nice.
So yeah, really, you know. So Harawake to me is in the Ogon classification, but it's 2-colored, right? So it's I'm Hikari Moyo, so 2-colored, right, or multicolored. So you've got a metallic base, and then you've got 2 colors. The base is generally white, right? So you've got lemon Harawake. I don't have an example in the bowl. Well, not really. That's a bad one. You've got lemon Harawake, which are yellow and white, and then you've got regular Harawake, which would be, you know, like an orange and a white, right? Metallic, okay, not kohaku. So kikasui is different in the fact that, where'd that kikasui go? It is different for the fact that it's doits. And as the fish ages, it actually becomes red. It doesn't stay orange. So they're not like even with kohaku at this age, they're more orange than they are red per se, right? So it goes over time, and I can take you over and show you the kikasui that we have. She's not orange, she's red. A persimmon style red, but she's still red, right? So her babies have the potential to make that same color in them as they age. Because when we first got her, when she was only 2, she was, you know, a little bit darker than this in her orange. But now she's really red, right? So this would be another kikasui, right?
Now this is the example of the kikasui Terry was talking about. That's definitely a nice red on that fish. It's just, it's a beautiful fish. I don't have any of those, obviously, but I can definitely tell now what she was talking about. My knowledge on the breeds is nowhere near as what hers or what Vince's is.
I know you don't have any
They are constantly looking for food, that's for sure. I do love this Showa. That is just a beautiful Showa. Now these guys, some are out in these 2 ponds. This pond now that they're in is 6.5 feet deep, and it's a huge pond. I do like that Kiyutsuri, and I love that female Gormo there. These ponds are absolutely massive. No wonder they grow so well here.
female, so I'm very happy. The other one's male. I just need another one.
There's some fucking cracking fish in that fry there, Chris, brother. Where you at? Where you at?
Where you at?
Where you at? And I tell you what, that shower is stunning. But then that last video when you pan round that Kiyutsuri, that ticks all my boxes. That ticks all my boxes. Yes. So, but in amongst that Friday, yeah, there's going to be some cracking fish.
Like Vince, I just love that Kiyutsuri there. It is one stunner. And I had one from that line, but unfortunately a heron got it. Soon their tanks will be full of their large breeders, and all their other tanks will be full of their domestic koi from outside. And I mean, they'll be just jacked full. But they still have a nice quantity on hand of domestic koi. They actually sell more domestic than they do Japanese koi. And with good reason. Their domestic are great quality as far as I'm concerned. They're full of color, they're vibrant, and well, they're just really healthy koi. Some of these are actually this year's spawn. They've grown that well. They are beautiful. Just don't buy any, Chris. Just don't buy any. All kidding aside, I always did like buying koi at the end of the season and then keeping them in my tanks over the winter. And that way you get to see them all winter and you know they were in a good quarantine. Now, Vandermeers do quarantine their fish, obviously. These are the last of their Japanese koi. They get pretty picked throughout the summer, and they only order them in during the spring. I like how they mark the prices, and well, they also mark the year that they were born. And that's important. You know, the last thing you want to do is buy a 6-inch, 4-year-old koi. For a Japanese koi being sold in Canada, I think their prices are pretty fair, to be honest. In fact, they're probably the cheapest Japanese koi, as in price wise. And they still had some pretty good quality here. A little bit out of my price range, but still some very nice ones. Well, thanks a lot. I did see a few that did catch my eye, but thankfully I didn't give in to the impulse buying. Boy, was that tough. Well, thanks a lot for watching. I could have spent hours and hours there, and fortunately, we just didn't have the time. Well, I'm not going to leave you with my normal farewell, but I will leave you with this. Sorry, everyone.
You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record playing right round, round, round. You spin me right round, baby, right round.